So our daughter, Katie, our fifth child, was born 25 years ago. And she was born with Golden Har syndrome. It was a surprise. She was a twin, and her twin came out first and didn't have any challenges, and then Katie did, and the doctor said, well, that's a near miss on a cleft palate, and left us alone.
When Katie was born, Sarah came out first, and there's the joyous noise of the operating room, and then when Katie was born, it just fell silent. Nobody knew what to say. And we went from being normal to unlike any of our friends like that.
We were fortunate enough, we live in Southern California. There are medical centers nearby. There's top-notch craniofacial surgeons nearby. So we didn't need the services of Faces from the standpoint of being a client, but we needed the services of Faces from the standpoint of being a parent going, what are we facing? What are we looking at down the road here?
And having people on the phone that said, you can do this.
Right.
People get through this. It meant a lot.
It did.
My daughter Kate is 12. She was born with Pfeiffer syndrome type 2. She is spunky and very outgoing most of the time.
My daughter is 13, and she was born with a bilateral cleft lip and palate. And I think in elementary years, she wasn't so aware of her differences, but now that she's reached middle school age, which is a very tough age, it's made a big impact on her. And I found this camp to be a place where she could relax around other people with facial differences, and saw it as a positive thing for her to do.
My son's Brody, and he has Apert syndrome. This is his second year at Faces Camp. He really enjoys it. His personality gets to come out. He gets to be a typical kid, and it just really helps his self-esteem, and he becomes very outgoing, and it's been a very good thing for him.
And my daughter is Avery. She's 13. She was born with Pfeiffer syndrome. This is her first overnight camp, and she got to bring her best friend with her, so that has been great. And she loves to do theater and karate. She likes to sample all of the things. So camp has been great where she can do lots of things she can't necessarily do at home.
My daughter Ashley is 17, and this is her second year at Faces Camp. She loves it. It's a lot of social time. She has Apert syndrome. She really wanted to come last year, but due to COVID, we didn't have Faces Camp, but we're back again this year, and she's having a blast. We just saw her last night, and all of them are running around and enjoying themselves thoroughly.
I'm a photographer, professional photographer. I have a gift, and to be able to give that, to share it, to make things better for Faces means a lot. To see the joy on the kids' faces, and they are no different than the other kids. Just the weekend before we flew here, I photographed a 2-day camp with high school kids, and they have challenges that they're scared of, and the photos show them nervous, and then the exuberance of, I actually did it. No different than here, seeing the Faces kids nervous, a little pensive, and then the exuberance when they did it. And I think that's just wonderful. Again, they get to be kids first, and then kids with craniofacial issues second.
For Brody, I dropped him off. I've got pictures of him. He looks very depressed. It's like, why am I here? And then on Wednesday when we saw him and he's having ice cream, he's like running around, talking to everybody. It's like, hey, Mom, he's having a great time.
Avery was super nervous when we dropped her off, kind of got her, and they took her away, and I left because she was very nervous about being on her own, and last night she was having a blast, and she'd come visit for a little bit and go play and come back and visit, and then it was no big deal when I left.
Lauren was apprehensive. We had talked about it extensively before camp and everything, what to expect, but I think at the same time it's very good for her to kind of push those limits, and I see pictures of her doing things with other kids, so that makes me happy. It's all worthwhile that she's getting that opportunity.
It's been 2 years since Kate's seen a lot of her friends. These cranio friends, they're the friends who get it. They're the friends who live your life, who have been where you've been, who've walked the road you've walked, who treat you like anybody else. Normal, there's nothing, there isn't anything different when they look in the mirror. They're all the same, and they can all equate the same. And for us at Faces Camp, it's given all of us the chance to be together in ways that we can't be every day. You know, we all reach out online, we all reach out via texts and phone calls and things, but to spend our time together, you know, that's invaluable.
Faces has been a part of our life for 25 years. Katie's now 25. She graduated with a mechanical engineering degree from a top-notch school in California and works at Northrop Grumman as an engineer. There is an outside of this. There's an other side of this. For kids of all abilities, whatever that other end is, it isn't forever being at home necessarily. Treating your child as a child first and as a child with a disability second is really critical. And hopefully you get your family and friends and everybody around you to do the same.
I feel like some people are afraid. Even people in my own family have been afraid of Brody, just not sure how to handle him, how to speak to him. But again, they're just regular kids wanting to be included, wanting to be a part of society, wanting to be a part of, you know, the friends, and just wanting to be included.
I think it's the education. I know we had a slogan for Avery, more shares, fewer stares. Because I was 27 years old before I knew any of this existed. When she was born, that's when I found out about all this. So we were big into advocacy when she was younger. She read books to her classmates or wrote about herself and shared her stories. And so kids know her.
They're regular kids. They're just like everybody else. They just want to be treated like everybody else. They want to play the same games and do the same things and be treated just like everyone else.
Donating to Faces over the years has been a mission of first my folks and then us, so, you know, to whatever extent we were able. It's just always been part of our heart. And if you have a specific trigger, just go with it. Do whatever you can for whatever entity you want to be a part of, but do it because it gives back on whatever level it can.
It's been a gift to be able to be part of this.
Thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity to express ourselves and for our children to have the opportunity to get together and be themselves.